drink Pedialyte.
Oh, you like the taste of that?
Well, I get the ones that's the electrolyte solution because one, they say, and
Pedialyte.
I've also found it
You
to
like the taste
help
of that?
like people that have autism, ADHD, it relaxes them.
Oh
It
yeah?
it, it does it for me, but especially like when it's really hot out because I get hot very easily
Yeah.
because especially I'm like I swear that it has to be the amount of lithium that I take between that
Oh, for sure. If
the
you want
amount
lithium,
of
yes,
and
that's
the
it.
amount of seizure medication I take
Yes.
that makes it um
Drying and
like makes me
dehydrating.
always hot.
Yeah, and it dehydrates your body too. Yeah, I agree. That's probably for sure what's
And
causing
like
it.
I find that the Pedialyte helps, and it also I just find how it helps me relax better.
That's good. Ever try a coconut water? Straight coconut water? It has lots
Yeah,
of electrolytes in it.
yeah, I've drank it a couple times, but I don't get it very often because of how pricey it is. And plus, I made them a terrible mistake because I'm like, I need some fresh air since the only fresh air I've gotten today is walking to and from church. And so I walked all the way into the center and then crossed at one of the intersections and walked all the way up to one of the gas stations and got a
A lot
bunch
of
of
walking.
stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, this is why I don't walk this far because by the time you're done, it's like
Worn out.
feel it in your knee. And because, like, for me, I find
Oh, what?
when I do lots of
Oh,
walking that
and they do.
my that's when my leg at night is the most swollen and
Mm.
painful. Like just even going up the stairs, like I can hear like a crunching sound coming from my knee, like but
Like a
like I
grinding?
like yeah, like I even met told my physical therapist, I'm like, what could this sound be? Because like it has me concerned. Because the thing I thought was strange, that I thought was interesting with my physical therapist was because she always is like, if she has a patient that like doesn't have like a proper walk, she always tries to mimic the way they're walking to see how it feels, like what it feels
Oh,
like.
what?
And she's like, when she told me that, and she said, now I, because she said she hurt her knee a little doing walking how I have to walk, that she said that now I can see why your knee would be hurting a lot. And I'm like, yeah, and especially if it's constantly doing that, like, because I'm trying to force myself to go walk up the stairs normally, but because of the pain, I go up with the good, down with the bad.
That's
But
me too.
some days, if I just really want to get in my room to relax, especially more at night, though, I'll go walk normally, but kind of just try and move fast. But the thing is, for me with the stairs is um because in both my knees and both my elbows, she could see that with the hypermobility.
Do you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome?
I have no idea.
You guys know
All
what that is, right?
I don't.
Ehlers, Ehlers. Ehlers-Danlos syndromes,
It's a hypermobility.
basically,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
they
my
go,
like
yes, they go
elbow
more. I
is,
would,
and a lot of it with my elbows, I think too, is just because growing up I was so athletic.
you
Growing up
just wore and
too.
tore your ligaments and tendons and joints too soon before
I
their
just
time.
I just blame it on old age.
Oh, you
That
are not
mobility,
old. She has no clue. Wait till you are old, honey.
and that um we're working on now because I'm finding my cane really isn't help keep me sturdy enough that one thing where we tried last Thursday was the crutches, like the ones that go around your wrist. And that actually also kind of helped distribute my weight
Mhm.
with my legs, both legs, and both of my legs were like completely straight, but I still had a little bit more of my weight still on my left leg than my right. But she's like, now we just got to figure out where we can get you a pair of crutches.
Have you ever tried the walk a walker?
Yeah, I have one regular walker in my room, but I also have a rollator downstairs.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't be able to lift it up the stairs.
No. Or, no, no. Yeah, that's a lot.
I was laughing though when I was at the gas station. I was like, holy crap. I feel like Reese's is like trying to go crazy because they have Reese's that are like shaped like medals, but they also
Yum.
have ones called Super King size, and it's got 6 Reese's in one package.
That's right up my alley. I love the Reese's.
One thing I've been dying so much to try that so many people have mentioned is instead of using a Hershey's bar to use Reese's for s'mores.
Never tried that, but that sounds yum. I would skip the marshmallow then. But you know what I used to do? My favorite thing to do when I was a kid at Easter, you get the Easter baskets. I started asking the Easter Bunny, listen, don't whip me off by giving me hollow chocolate Easter bunnies. I want the solid ones. I want to be able to dip them in the peanut butter. So, hi. I think Diane's either having problems with her computer or she's introducing someone to us.
I think she stepped away a minute because she had headphones on.
Oh yeah, well I can't. She's muted, so I can't hear her.
That's a guy. So
Gonna do ask to unmute. Maybe she was having computer complications. What's I gonna say? That's gonna. Oh, Paula.
yeah.
Over time, I noticed, when the way I started to walk with with FND, it had
Oh, well,
loosened my tendons and ligaments so much in my knee that at one day my daughter was getting ready to go somewhere. Not my little one, but my older daughter. And she's like, Mom, can you help me out? Because, she's got a bazillion dogs. So she usually uses tape to go through her clothes to get the like a lint roller, but it's cheaper.
Yeah,
So I bend down and I do that. And when
I
I bent
have
down,
one.
she and I both heard this horrific pop sound. And getting back up was absolutely excruciating. So, and of course, this happens like in August, September-ish, August, I think, of the year the Hurricane Ian came through. So I go in and I get my X-ray first and then an MRI of my knee. And I had met my I had to meet a orthopedic surgeon. And so he ordered those and I went to get it done. And sure enough, I tore my meniscus because
Oh,
of all the other, the weakness of the knee itself from the way that we've been walking.
yeah. Plus,
So
my grandmother and I are wondering, like, if this actually started like a couple years ago for me, because when I was still at Children's, because I went in one day with the cane and like my balance wasn't very good, and she asked why I had a cane, and she said to me, and we told her why. And so basically for the whole appointment she had me just like doing cognitive exercises where like, and so I, by the time we left, that I was walking without a cane, and then, and so we now think that that was the start of it. But then when I had my injury to this same leg that's bad now, that um we think that
Okay, Ruby.
that may have triggered.
have you ever had, like, was someone, you probably already have had X-ray or MRI of your knee.
Yeah, and it
When's the
showed
last, when's the last time you
nothing.
had that?
I had it when I was seeing all the doctors for testing, and the MRIs and X-rays showed nothing that they could do.
Oh, so probably more or less soft tissue.
Well, because when I then had my Amazon injury, my, that I ended up having severely strained, bruised, and pulled muscles in my knee. And I was
Yeah.
out of work for a while, went back, and then after a while, I left, and now starting up again. We think it's just that it's starting up again.
Yeah, because, old
Since I
injuries.
know it can with FND, that it can be like on and off, on and
Yes.
off. And the my physical therapist told me that if I've had, even if it's been a couple years, an injury, that that can still cause an injury in the few, like some cause like FND or other problems in the future. She,
Well, yeah, because that's trauma. An injury in itself is trauma.
yeah.
Go through all that pain, and then you go through the frustration mentally
Yeah.
of dealing with the pain and how long it's
And
gonna
then
last.
doctor's appointments.
Precisely. So it's just trauma,
Yeah.
period. Like I've
And
said before,
especially, it's like the most frustrating thing for me is the stupid group home. It's like they don't get it. And it's like, and a lot of it is because they're more
right,
strictly mental health, where I need a place that's medically trained staff
right,
and a shower that has safety bars.
right. That's you not found social worker yet?
No, not yet. My therapist is um gonna help, said she would help me, but I don't know. So what her process is, but I have, because like I'm making a list of because Tuesday we're having a team meeting here at the group home, and my aunt's gonna be there. My grandmother's gonna be on speakerphone because she couldn't come down for today because the last couple weeks she's been having heart problems. So
Oh.
she had to have a non-surgical procedure done,
Uh-huh.
and they're hoping in August to be coming down. And especially because I was like looking so forward to seeing them. Like, I at least called my grandfather today, wishing him a happy Father's Day, because, like, for me, and then I think I may have sent it too late, a text asking him if I saved up enough money, could, and because I want to legally change my name, and but it like costs between 180 and like 250 to legally in Massachusetts change
Oh,
your name.
yeah.
So like I would change my first name to Paula for the legal first name, but I sent him a text asking him if I saved up enough money and I changed my name, if I could also change my last name to his, because I don't want any part of my biological family in my name at all.
No, not even grandma who helped you?
Well, my grandmother, she's not my biological grandmother.
Oh,
She's the wife of my grandfather, so
oh, gotcha. Like a step grandma.
no, well, my grandmother, she adopted my mother
I
when
got
she was before she was an adult, or not too long before. So,
you. Yeah.
but she got custody of me.
Diane have some exciting news to share.
You got married again to a dog this time?
You're funny. You're funny. No, but I went to the docs this week. Three things, actually. One was my weight, because I just can't seem to budget. So she actually said to me, she thinks I'm not eating enough, which is weird. But she
For
says
not
because you
losing
get
weight?
older and your metabolism slows down, you only eat a little bit. So your body actually goes into like starvation mode and your metabolism shuts down after you finish eating. So I'm not eating enough to keep my metabolism going. That
I
makes any
kind of thought maybe you would lost some weight.
I wish.
Yeah,
I
because
lost
I
weight
know I
a
need
long
to
time
lose
ago.
weight. That's one thing I need to know. Like,
I need to lose weight.
my
And my life.
epileptologist one day literally looked at me through a computer screen and told me I look like I'm like 350 pounds. So had to buy a scale to make
Rude.
sure that wasn't true.
I've never been
Rude.
this heavy in my life. And when I went
Now
on
that,
gabapentin and they increased my dose, in 6 months, I gained 50 pounds. But when I went off it, I never lost it. And
yes.
she did say a lot of people gain a lot of weight on gabapentin.
Mm.
And I said, I know that because I was in a gabapentin group at one point in time. There's people in there that had gained like 100 pounds on it, like just ridiculous.
Oh,
It's
So
horrible.
it's not a good drug. She said it's not a good drug.
I was on it, but to give you hope, I've lost 20 pounds since being off of it,
Yeah, see,
but it's
I
slow.
was past menopause and past all of that by the time I got off it. I was probably actually past menopause when I was put on it. So yeah,
yeah,
so that's
because
what
isn't there
basically.
like a lot of
But same here because I had a hysterectomy. So
Oh,
so there is still hope. I did lose a 20 pounds.
I've been
I'm
off of
kind
it
of
for a couple of
but
years.
I'm kind of plateaued at that. I can't seem to get
I'm
rid.
plateaued. I haven't lost or gained anything since I gained that 50 pounds.
Ugh. Well, there was hope though. If you get off of that,
Well, she's gonna,
eventually.
I'm supposed to track what I'm eating and then go back in a couple of weeks. She did some extra blood work and stuff like that because the rheumatologist did a bunch of blood work, but not stuff that she wanted. So she says, we'll do that. And then I was talking about my back again because it's just to the point where I cannot do anything anymore. And so she says, well, it's 5 years since you had the last MRI and the stenosis was pretty bad then. So chances are like it's a lot worse. And she actually is really good because she said like the gabapentin, the stenosis, all this kind of stuff can also give you some of those FND symptoms. So she's asking me about like the tingling in my feet because and the neurologist actually said to me 4 years ago that the stenosis then could possibly be causing some of my tingling feet and tingling in my legs. So I don't know. But anyways, and then I talked to her. She says, oh, you want to be referred to a neurologist? And I said, well, the only reason for that was because I was looking into this movement clinic downtown Toronto. What did I do there? And I said, but they supposedly only take referrals from neurologists, but I don't have a neurologist. So she says, well, I'm going to see if I can get you in. So she's going to look into it, which is good. So we'll see.
But that's good. You're getting somewhere.
Yeah, it's like just so, and I always just find it interesting, like how, like because of hormones, how with FND, it's more common in women because of hormones, which that I just find interesting because you don't see like, especially on the groups, very many men.
Not very many. No, and hormones. Oh,
Yes. Hormones, yes.
I cannot.
They do
Well,
all
then,
this to you all your life as a woman.
Yes, make
They're
you.
all over the place. Yes.
well, maybe if you start taking testosterone,
Oh God,
the
no.
FND will
I'm
go
already
away
getting
right
fuzzy
away.
I
ears.
already have peach fuzz here. I
Yes,
don't
I have
want
this.
more,
If I let this grow, I'd have a beard.
right?
Like I have
And
like
occasionally
facial
one
hair
coming out of a
here
mole.
that I have to
Yep.
always shave away. Like
Yep.
I get it right here.
Yep.
And the
Like
older we get, we find we get more weird,
More and
random,
more. Yes. Right by here,
strange
right here,
hairs in
here.
places we don't like. Yeah.
yeah, because you should see one of the women that is treating me horribly here. Have you ever seen the TV show the movie The Greatest Showman?
I've heard
No.
of it, but never seen it.
That's the best.
Because
Sorry, my dog here, she interrupted.
and she literally looks like if you combine like a homeless person and that bearded lady from the movie because she wears a
I
wig.
could literally grow a beard. I said, if ever I become incapacitated, somebody needs to shave my chin for me. So I don't.
Oh, you
We'll
So
send
silly.
April. We'll send April to help
Same,
you.
Diane, the same way here.
Is that right?
Yep, I
get
could grow a
I get the
goatee.
Yeah, I could too.
but is it
Uh-huh.
But
But I
isn't
had
it more-
PCOS, so
but
I
isn't
also,
it more
yeah,
like
I
peach
also
fuzz?
have
what?
PCOS.
Isn't it more like peach fuzz? Or is
no,
it
I
Mine
have
isn't.
black hairs. No,
Really?
Mine isn't
Like
anymore.
me,
Mine is
mine.
bristly.
It looks
it's like the hairs that grow on my hair, like my legs. It's like
Yep.
like
that.
for me,
Yeah,
like
it's bristly.
on my
Yeah, it's
like
bristly
chin,
hair.
it looks like if like it was my regular hair on my head,
This is like
and
coarse. Like
Yeah,
I
this
only
is
have
coarse.
one.
so I have
this
to
is
like
very
keep it
coarse hair.
shaved.
And I have too much to pluck.
I only
Yes,
have
you
one. It comes
can't
out.
you can't pluck it. And I used to get it waxed.
Did that work?
I actually have.
Yeah, but like then you got a giant red face all day. You can't.
Yeah,
Stuff
because
us
like
women.
for me,
Yeah.
yeah, because like
So-
for me, I have like it's like
So now I just
me-
shave it.
It's like
Oh.
one of these electric
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
shavers, and it easily just.
Yeah, I don't have that. I have like a peach fuzzy along here and here, but I have one stiff wiry one that comes out of a mold.
Yeah, I used to have just
Yeah,
one.
no, I have like probably 1,000
You
of
should
those.
just let April, your daughter, pluck it out.
Why do? I say if I can feel it just starting to pop out again, and
I
I
get
can't,
one that goes
I can't get
rogue
it,
and
I
you
say,
wake
tell
up
my,
and it's a mile long.
Yeah.
oh, I
Like,
get that
where'd
on
you
my
come
shoulder.
from?
I get one on my
Hello,
shoulder
friend.
that gets this big, but it's white
It's crazy.
and
Like, what's
fine.
that?
Why do we get these weird hairs?
I don't know.
There's our twin coming out.
Isn't that weird?
I
It's
got
the
that alone because I know a lot of people.
same. It's
I
like
think it's a yeah. My daughter
it's like
just said
being part masculine. Is what it is.
What'd
My
she
daughter-
say, bro?
my daughter is sitting here because she started getting the same one, and you know what? I noticed
In
it
the same spot?
almost.
That would
Hers
be
is like-
hilarious. Oh my
mine
god.
is right on top the shoulder. Hers is back more off on the blade, and
Oh, that's funny.
you know where I noticed mine seems to grow more and faster overnight, like it's some sort of miracle grow when I'm in the sun. When I've been out in the sun, and it's like poof.
Are you sure though? Are you
Here's the
sure?
vitamin D.
100% because it's a blonde, whitish blonde hair, really
Hey,
long
Jess.
and very fine, and I'm like, I see it glistening and blowing. You know,
Are
with
you
that-
sure, April, that you're not
Listening in the
instead
wind.
of it being the what is it, the Sandman, you're getting visited by the Hair Man?
like I'm turning into Wolfman?
Wolfman. It's starting.
I don't know, but I do swear that it is all hormone related because
Yep.
with my young daughter just starting to
Yeah.
get that, and she's starting to get to, that age.
Yeah.
Well,
She gets it from you.
yeah, well, poor thing, yes, but
Yeah, when I was younger, I didn't, like, it wasn't this bad. But, like, as I've got, like, I used to be able to just pluck a few here. But,
you know
like,
what?
as I've
I had-
gotten
when I was
older,
younger,
it's gotten
I-
worse.
See,
When I was
before you
younger-
know it, April's gonna look like your cat. Just white. Just white.
When I was younger, I used to have lots of hair on my arms.
I
Now it's
know,
mostly
I do.
gone.
I do.
Yeah, I don't have any hair on the
Yeah,
top of
mine
my
is gone
arm.
now.
mine
I
is
have-
very hairy
I
wildebeest
have
too, but
lots of it on my arms.
I still
And my
have some on
grandmother-
my
My
forearms.
grandmother tells me it's because of my weight.
your hair?
No.
On my no, the hair on my arms.
Is you
Like,
hairy because of your weight?
that's what my
That's
grandmother told me.
That's something new.
I never knew such a
Not
thing.
heard that one before. I don't think that is related. You know what? I see B on here twice. She
Yeah, I
must
do
be-
too.
She must
So
be
do
you.
I.
She's having problems joining in here.
Oh, I see. I
And
see.
hearing it too.
We'll
have to get-
And Jess
we'll have to
can't
get
That's
talk,
probably why she's
but
having
she
problems.
hears.
I don't know.
We'll have to
B,
get B hearing aids.
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let her know that I think if she's logged in twice somehow, it can cause a issue with
Echo?
like an echoey playback. But
Yeah, 'cause I know, like,
I'm gonna
for me,
typo.
like, my biological father and I used to, because I had mine removed. Well, had to have it removed because it was draining on its own, but we had mole on the same exact spot on our back.
Hi, Jessica.
And it's like, I'm like, oh Jesus. Like, I get all the freaking neurological problems from my father. And then me and my sister both get the mental health stuff from my mother, who's not alive anymore. But it's like, oh great. Like,
Have you
why
been
do I-
listening, Paula? Have you been jumping into Facebook group and listening to my book reading?
Yeah,
or going back and watching them?
I
I
have
have.
when I have time because I've been busy with physical
Okay.
therapy twice a week, at least one to two doctor's appointments a week, and also I do a lot with my church.
Well, that's good. But you should attempt to, I saved them. You know how to get into guides? I'll give a demonstration. How's that? Hold on.
Yeah, because remember I commented, sent you a message about asking how you're so good with reading in
That's
front of a camera, and you said it was because you were
a
a
teacher.
teacher for a while.
And I'm not, my pet peeve when I was a teacher, I developed that pet peeve myself with FND, and that was grammar and spelling and things. So now I'm not so hard on people anymore, like I used to be as teacher on grammar. But let me show you something. I'm going to share screen. Okay. And let me get here. And you see the screen. So I'm in the FND W.A.V.E.S group, right?
Yep.
And at the top, at the very top, you have discussion, guides, featured. I put a lot of stuff in featured, usually like um something I may want to keep on there that's fresh and new for maybe a week. Members, you can look and see how many who the members are. If someone wants to reach out to you, you want to reach out to somebody, you see somebody on there, whatever. Events I had for a little bit when I was reading the cognitive behavioral therapy, which I still can't find that book, so sorry. Media, I don't know how to do that. Files would be if I run across, or anybody runs across
Like media
some
would be
document or something, some
like
documents that we want to read. So I would put those if they come in the forms of PDF or like Microsoft or something, I would stick those in files. But in guides, when I click on guides, and you see
Yeah, all the, yep.
I have a guide one was the first thing I did was the CBT tasks. I was reading a CBT book, which I will go back to when I find it. I'm so sorry. And then you scroll down and each one of them, like usually when I stick them in there, it always puts the first one last. So the
Yep.
most recent one.
Yep.
So I put a copy of it, and I think I even did my videos, and see people can go in and comment.
Yep.
And so let me go back. I want to show. So like I've learned how to do this through being what's it called? I was well, I still am. What is it called? Pampered chef consultant. And they do this a lot. They use the guides a lot. Well, anyways, let me go back.
yeah, because if you media, that's if like when you're doing the books, it's whenever you go live, do like a live stream on the page
Mm-hmm. Well, look
media.
what I did. Since I'm reading the book, I did stick it in guides.
Yep.
So what I did was saved the live stream forever. I copied the link of that live stream from our Facebook group so that it's easier to find. Nobody has to go scrolling around because you know how they jumble up posts based on the algorithms on the most activity on something.
Yep.
So you come in here and you see that this is as far as I've gone. And here's you see 5 more. So there you come to the bottom. You want to always start at the bottom if you've missed any of them, because that's first and then go up. So I titled them, this was the introduction of the book. Then I read chapter 1, part of it. I got too tired, so I say part A because I just got a little too tired to read the whole chapter. And then I continued it another day. And then I went chapter 2. And so when you click on that particular thing, it'll come up here just a second. Maybe it will. Okay, so what it does is it has the link of when I was live stream. And you can click on that video and listen, just listen. So then it would just save you. I did this to save you guys from having to buy the book if you wanted, and save you from having to search all over the place on YouTube for the reading. And sometimes some people like female voice versus male voice. Plus my intonation is a bit different than Eckhart Tolle's, which his voice is quite soothing. If you have heard his on YouTube, it is rather soothing. But that's how you get into it. And sometimes, like when I was in as I'm in like training and stuff on other groups, when I've done training, they'll do these guides for training purposes, and so they're like required. So the task, you would have to click that you completed it. I put mine as optional because everything I share with you guys is optional. It's up to you, your discretion, whether you want to do it or not. But I'm telling you, Paula, I did not want to read this for the longest time. I was hesitant on reading it because of my own personal faith. Sometimes I get blinders on in my faith and think, oh, if I read that particular thing, I'll run across this particular thing, and it's not coinciding with my faith, or I think it may not coincide with my faith, then I'm just going to avoid it. But I decided, you know what? No, I'm going to go ahead and read this because I can make just about anything I read coincide with my faith. And this book, technically, the way that Eckhart Tolle writes, it includes and incorporates faiths of all over the world, all different types. So by reading this book, now that I'm so far into it, I have to say that I've never in my life, and I'm proud to say it now, that I've actually felt the Holy Spirit in me. I know he's been with me, but I finally have felt him. And this book, reading alongside the Bible, it has given me the most uplifted spirit and mind, of peace, of love, and just it may not have healed my body, and it has not, fixed 100% of this physical stuff, but that doesn't even matter to me anymore on that. When I'm having them, I don't get that frustrated, discouraged thoughts or feelings. I say, you know what? This is now. It's happening right now. What can I do while it's happening? I can't stop it. It's gonna have to run its course. What can I do in the meantime while it's running its course so that I don't feel it so agonizingly dreadful? And I do, as Eckhart Tolle says, to just look within, look deep within, be the watcher. Am I thinking of anything that's negative? Am I bringing anything from the past? Am I worrying about anything in the future? Be silent. One of my favorite things that he had said was, ask yourself, quietly in your mind, ask yourself, wonder what my next thought is going to be. And then you literally wait and wait. It literally is amazing because as you ask yourself that, it almost takes longer for a thought to pop in your head. And thoughts are presented from the ego, the way that we were raised, the way the society, the culture has formed us all. And I've realized that I can get my mind now away from that, get rid of the past of dwelling, use the past now only when necessary for a lesson, or so that I don't repeat it in such manner but don't dwell. Don't stay in a phase of dwelling of the past. And then the future, I no longer have the fears or the worries of the future because I've gotten rid of that pain body of the past that no longer exists. It honestly is non-existent. It's gone. It's done.
because I
It's
know
over.
like
It's poof.
because I know like for me like due to like my mental health and problems and some neurological problems that it makes me dwell
Yes,
things easily. And so kind of what I've found helpful is like just turning to like God, because especially like being thankful that I found the church that I did, that I'm volunteering, I'm part of a committee, like,
that's wonderful.
and
And
doing
that's
stuff to help. Like this weekend, where Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, there we're gonna be in our town center protesting to the about what the um the to of the end of abortion rights, federal
you're
eh,
looking up what you
end of abortion rights, like to end like letting abortions be legal. And so
gotcha. And that
basically
is very
we're going to
godly.
be protesting about it
Mm-hmm.
those all those days, except
Ladies,
me on Monday, because I won't be available for during it. But it's like
I
just
think the book would help you, Paula.
interesting, like being part of this church where, because they're not like strictly like right from the Bible. Like all they have in every pew is just the song books. They don't have the Bibles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of in a way like one of the guys, reverends, that I really like, that I get along well from, um is that um they um basically, the church, they really like me, like I'm part of,
The
uh
family.
like, yeah, like they're like, I was telling one of them how um like when I step foot in this church, how like I feel like I'm at home, that I know I'm in a safe place. But the hard thing is, when I get back to this group home, that's where then that feeling goes away. Like that feeling I had yesterday meeting people, and that I made a possible new friend, I don't know, and who identifies the same as I do, that it's like I'm hoping that like I'd be, especially because I know one of the big things that like, because I think I like follow three different FND pages, and the number one thing I see so many people asking is, do you feel that with having FND, that it it's just gonna make it so much harder for you to find true love, but especially like if it's like me with having mobility problems.
Well, you know what? First of all, honey, true love is deep inside you. It's
Mhm.
buried deep inside you that you need to seek first before ever attempting
To find
to
somebody
find it
else.
elsewhere, outwardly. When you find that true love within, then you find true love to others. And
True.
if you're seeking true love on earth, you know, that person will come in due time. But the most valuable part and lesson you need to know is the true love you have within yourself. Because even though you don't have the Bible, Jesus does say the two most important basically commandments is love your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and love your neighbors as yourself. Oh, it says I'm speaking Arabic.
That's what mine had said, and I'm like,
What?
what?
I can't understand my crazy. So loving your neighbors as yourself, what does that mean? That means you've got to love yourself first.
Yeah,
And then
because like my
once you
grandmother.
learn how to love yourself, then you learn how to love others, and those others learn to love you back, and the love just starts becoming infectious.
Yeah, because like for me, like
Will accept you.
comes to like
What?
making friends
That
my age.
person will accept you if they know who you are, if you know yourself within you.
Right. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, it
'cause,
did
like
change the
for
language
me,
to Arabic.
it's like um having like friends my age. Like for me, I've never had a friend my age, and like all the people that I've had as friends are always like 50 and older, and that and like for me, like I'm the kind of person who like go out of my way to help something or do something for someone, and even at say like get them something they need even if I don't have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And like my
There's
grandmother
nothing wrong with
thinks I'm
that
like
at
an
all.
over caring
You're
person.
an empath. That means you're an empath. You go above and beyond caring for others. But the dangers of being an empath without seeking the love within yourself is that you don't create boundaries for yourself. You can be walked all over because of those boundaries aren't made. You are slightly vulnerable. So you can be an empath and still have those. And I'm telling you this only because guilty. I've been an empath all my life without boundaries, being vulnerable and allowing people to walk all over me. And then the worst part of it all is having the expectation that if I show or give like this, it's going to be reciprocated. And then I don't get back the love in return. So then I created my own pain body, as the Tole would say, as he calls them. I created my own pain body by, misinterpreting how love truly works. So I needed to set boundaries. I needed to get rid of expectations. So if you're gonna be an empath and give everybody things, don't ever expect it back. You're doing it just out of true kindness and true love. But put your boundaries. Don't let people take advantage. Once they see that you're a giving person, they might keep coming back and back and back and trying to suck everything out from you. And then you're like, oh my gosh. So your boundaries have to be created. And I'm only telling you this to try to prevent you from going through all of the heartache and things that
Same
I went through
experiences.
yes, myself. But you know what? You could be just like my son, who I can tell him something till I'm blue in my face, but he needs to learn it for himself. So, but I like sharing these kinds of things so you can take mental note that you know, if you run across a situation again in the future that you be an empath and a giver, that's just for an example, the same person. And this person's never really showing you love back of any sort of way, kindness, love, any kind of love back by maybe once in a while showing gratitude or thank you for, you know, here, you've done this for me for so much. I'm gonna do this for you. They've taken advantage of you and they just keep walking all over you. And your boundary was not up because you're just too kind and too empathetic with others that it builds, then it starts to build up a resentment. And you want to still be the giver, but yet you get resentful that you feel like you're never receiving any of this from others yourself. So keep that in mind as you continue to grow, you know, and you continue to learn about the greatest love within yourself, but make sure you put boundaries. And that's something I've been working on a lot lately, is learning how to make boundaries so that I can effectively communicate with someone that has mistreated me, sort of like the situation I had with the doctor recently. And I put a boundary up. Just because you're my doctor and you've got a higher degree than I have does not mean you can mistreat me in such manner that you have done. And so I reached out through what we call my chart. I don't know if you all have that or not, but my chart is like the way you can access all your medical records and communicate with your doctor, almost like a medical emails and stuff. So I sent him a message and I said, you know, my counselor helped me through this too. She said, have you ever thought of sending him a message and saying, you know, your behavior was quite unprofessional and no one deserves to be treated in the way that you treated me. You want to explain yourself. And I did. I did that. He called me the next day and I was proud of myself for standing my ground, not losing control of the fears that I get, the insecurities that I get, and not sobbing. When he told me I was manipulating him by my seizures. So I said, excuse me, doctor. I said, are you saying that I'm malingering? He says, no, I didn't say that. I go, oh, okay, yeah. No, you did not say that word. But everything you're saying in context is referring to that. And I can see where this is going. And I said, you know, all due respect, I've commended you on surveys and everything with the hospital and given you kudos, great high remarks, whatever, blah, 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 referred you on to others. However, this is not acceptable. He slammed the door, he kicked the bed, he threw things when I was in the office. So this is why I was saying this back to him. I said, I can see that your behavior has changed over the course of the last few visits I've had, whether you're overworked or not. But what you just stated to me about my seizures, I'm using them to manipulate you. I said, right here tells me that our relationship as doctor-patient status is over. And I pray that you or any of your family never get a condition anything remotely close to this, because I believe on my heart that you do not know how to care for it. Therefore, you frustrated. But this is done. We're over. And we hung up at that. I had my boundary. I was able to talk without feeling intimidated. I was able to talk without feeling fear. I was able to talk without feeling, you know, like, oh, whatever he says is going to damage me inside. It's going to hurt. It's the ego, you know, the ego stuff where you just keep piling on all these bad things that people have said about us, you know. I was able to talk without allowing that to jump in. And I was able to do it in a nice, kind, loving tone as well. So being an empath, like what you are doing, try. Oh, sorry, my dog almost threw up.
Maybe
Ugh.
you should set
But try to,
boundaries for your dogs.
right, I wish. Yeah, I'll gag somewhere else. So
Just
what
out on the couch.
what I'm saying, my darling, is you got a long life ahead of you. Be very cautious. I'm not saying don't be an empath, but be cautious. Set your boundaries and learn to love yourself from within and let go of the past. The hardest thing for us sometimes to do is to step out of the dwelling on the past situations, circumstances, the relationships, whatever it may be of our life that molded us into who. And that's what we think we are. But Tolle says that's not what we are. Our true self is hidden within, and you can find it just by meditating and becoming present in every single moment. And you'll find that peace. So I do encourage you to try to, when you find the time, whenever, that's why I've saved them, to try to get on that guides and go in and listen to some of the book, because after that book is over, I'm going to be reading, practicing it. How to practice being in the now, in this moment. Because in the now, there's no time. Time doesn't exist. The past is over. The future hasn't even come. What are we worried about? Why am I dwelling on the past? Can't change it. It's been over, done with, wash our hands of it. And now we're going to learn how to practice after I'm done reading. This is how far into it I am. So I'm recording that. And I'm so glad now that I felt more confident and faithful into reading it and seeing that you can use this book alongside any belief system that you have. And that book actually helped me grasp the Holy Spirit and that peace that I've been seeking. It's been, last week has been one of the most amazing weeks spiritually and mentally for me. Physically, not so much, but you know what? It's done, it's over. It may happen again tomorrow, may not happen. It may happen after I'm done talking to you guys, but I don't care. I'm not worried about it. No longer do I have that worry or that fear. That makes
Well, I
sense?
can tell you one thing, April, that like when you've told me, like when I've texted you that you haven't had a like great time, like health wise, that
That's
like at my church they have a part in the service where you um can light a candle either of joy, like something good that's happened, or a concern that people can either help with or pray for. And every week I always light one for you whenever you're whenever you've told me you're down.
Paula. Thank you. It's very touching. Thank you, honey. Appreciate that. And that's very, very touching and very humbling. I love you, kiddo.
Love you too.
Thank you. See, I also ran across some interesting things that I sent to my older daughter today. Let me see this in my Joy, just for a second. You don't have to shut off what you're shutting off. I was curious for myself as I have been doing deep Bible study alongside the book. And I was curious to say, for me, like, how do you know you have the Holy Spirit within? God says it in the Bible, yes, 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 whatever. It's sent in replace for Jesus, but how do you really know? And I ran across this. Some people experience physical sensations when the Holy Spirit enters their lives, such as warmth, a sense of being embraced, tingling, like a little bit of a slight electrical feeling. Me, big baby, overwhelming emotions, tears or other strong emotions. And my tears usually come from more now from such deep love and compassion than from fear or woe is me or pain and things like that. And that has been happening a lot to me. Gratitude, like a subtle feeling of thankfulness, numbness, a feeling that your arms are numb, hot hands, a sudden feeling of hot hand. Now, see, for me, this to me implies it's the Holy Spirit. I believe Eckhart Tolle, if you know you're not Christian based and you have a different religion or different faith system, these same types of feelings are probably the ones you would feel when you find that you're conscious, as he puts it, or in the present state, when you are feel that you feel your inner true self, where you can connect fully and on with every natural thing on earth. So for me, it's the connection with the Holy Spirit. For others, that connection deepward, where you connect to anything in nature. I believe those same feelings that I was explaining is probably that same type of feeling anybody will get if they get to the point of being in the present moment and being in now.
Yeah, because it also kind of to me sounds like symptoms too, like
It does.
FND.
I thought of that too, but you know what? I also considered deeply. So don't think I'm a wacko, guys. But listen, someone brought to my attention as I was reading The Power of Now. And we haven't quite got a deep talk about it, but I've contemplated these things. And I've thought for a while, maybe we, us with FND, are closer than anyone else with the ability to be able to become present and be one in with our own being and seek that faster than anyone else because we're so much closer. Well, first of all, we're debilitated, so we have the time to practice just about anything, right?
Because like I
That's
know
so true.
once, because on the 18th I have it is my last package arriving, and it's from Amazon. That's a bamboo Native American like flute, and so like it'll give me time to like practice and learn, because there's so many Native American YouTubers that play the pan flutes, the
Oh, that's
flutes.
soothing music. It sounds. I love that sound.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Yes. But do you contemplate that, guys? I want you to think about that. Think at how close we might actually be able to access that. Not just because, yeah, we have more time than others, because, well, I mean, that is an advantage, but because we have to already ground ourselves, go through our own feelings. We have to use techniques to be mindful of so many different things. So we're already got our toes wet with some of the practices that Tolle, and I'm only telling you this because I did take a sneak peek of the practicing. We already have our toes wet with some of the strategies and techniques of practicing being in the now.
And plus we have each other, so it's like
Yes. And the accountability through
we're
us.
all here to help each other and support each other,
That.
because
Yes.
we all have one thing in common.
We
Yeah.
have accountability through each other, help support each other through each of these. We have compassion for each other. We have patience. You guys have more patience than anybody I've ever met, and I appreciate it because when I can't be on here, when I've had so many flare-ups, I thank and praise God all the time for having such a phenomenal group like you guys, because this group wouldn't be a group without you. It just wouldn't.
Well, you should also give a little bit of the acknowledgement to your daughter
Oh,
to help
right.
you.
Oh, I always give her acknowledgement. I tell you what, the day before my appointment, embarrassing. We were at Walmart and she was pushing cart behind me. Typically, I lean on a cart, um, for for guidance, but I was using the walker. Don't. She's embarrassed right now as I'm telling you right now. But listen, it's not anything embarrassed. It was more embarrassing on my end, not hers. But as we're finishing up the shopping, and my stepmom is checking out, and I said, "Oh, I need one more thing. I wanted to go to the garden center and grab a mint plant so I could put in my water."
Oh,
And we're
I
on our way
love
there.
doing that.
So we
So
passed the.
refreshing and
It
soothing.
is. We passing the pharmacy, and you know how they have the center. They always have like a center display of something sort, whatever. We get to, and the pharmacy is somewhat close, but not all the way into the garden center, and I accidentally hits me with a cart on my ankle. And since this with pain, it sends the electrical shock right up my leg and it sends me into seizure instantly. But me practicing the now, you know what I did? I sat there and said, "It's okay. This is totally okay. It could have been worse had I gotten to the garden center. Something could have fallen on me. We don't know. This happened now for a reason. It's gonna be okay." And guess what? Lo and behold, this central display case is almost empty. So what was left? My daughter pushes aside, sits me down, gives me my medicine, calls my stepmom, lets her know what's happening. I'm present with hearing the voices surrounding me. There's multiple associates coming. There was a first responder shopping. There was a retired nurse shopping. They all stopped to check on me. And the entire time, my daughter, is responding to them, answering the questions that she knows I would want her to answer. Because the first responder says, "Should we call an ambulance?" She goes, "No, they're usually mean to her." He goes, "Well, I don't care about the past. What about now?" She's like, "No, this happens all the time. We just gave her her medicine. She just needs to get through it." And the retired nurse tells me to, "Oh, breathe, 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 breathe." And Maya's like, she will. She's just having the contractions in my chest so tight. And then the only thing was that they had no wheelchairs available, the carty things, to be able to get me out. So they brought a chair over and sat down. And she was so upset. "I'm so sorry I caused this." And I had no ounce of,
It was an accident.
right. I was like, when I
Fake
was capable of
accidents.
when I was capable of speaking again, and I explained to her, I said, "You know what? You did every single thing correct. You didn't abandon me. You did everything I've taught you. And it was a small accident. And the way I see that accident was the fact that it was preventing me from something worse happening. So everything was okay. Don't worry about it. We don't hang on to that. We're not going to hang on to that. It's done and over. It probably prevented something worse, maybe something big falling off a shelf in the garden center or in an area where no one could get to me. Or, you know what I mean? I just thought it all in a positive manner. But she still holds on to it because she's right now hiding her head saying, "Don't tell him, don't tell him." But
Well, at least she knows what to do.
yeah, oh,
She's a smart. She's a
She
smart.
knows probably more than anybody else in my family knows exactly what to do. She would be the first and foremost one I would go to. and ask for help out above anybody and everybody. Because first I'm blessed with her wonderful heart that she has, and next to her compassion and the fact that she has learned so much enough to know exactly what to do.
Plus,
And
it's amazing how she's able to stay calm through all
oh,
of
she's
it.
amazing.
Because I know with like epilepsy, they like always tell the person if they're like for the medical IDs, if the person's having a seizure, to remain calm is like the
Mhm.
very first thing. Like for me, the thing that annoys me with seizures is how they still like say like don't how like they believed that if you had a seizure you would swallow your tongue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that myth, I'm always like, who the hell came up with that? That's
Yeah,
so
they always said, put a spoon in their mouth.
yeah.
Yeah, they used to do that or stick a rod or so you don't bite down,
Yeah.
maybe bite on. But isn't that kind of attached to the point where you're kind of
Yeah. But they
But
say
yeah, I
not
could understand
to.
biting it, especially because my seizures, they usually start in my tongue. My tongue starts going spastic and it hits the roof of my mouth.
Yeah, because usually for me, if I have a seizure, like the only way I know if I've had a seizure is because I've either bitten my tongue hard enough to where you can actually see it,
Yeah,
or the inside of my cheek
cheek. Yeah.
that they
Mm.
can see.
Uh, I want to ask you, you guys. I had already asked Paula. She didn't get a chance. She doesn't get an opportunity to listen to the book. How is it affecting you guys? Anyone wanna?
I love it.
It
I actually do love it.
gives me something to think about, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I've learned something already, and it just reminded me that the show that I watch on YouTube is similar to it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
April, have to send you the
have
book.
I noticed on you, April, it has changed you, and
Has
it's
it
changed
changed
you.
me? Oh, for
It changed
sure.
you better to a better. You're
Mental
finding
state.
yourself. Yeah,
Yes. Deep, mental, deep, and spiritually.
yeah,
Physically,
yeah,
I'm still having my struggles, and and
yeah.
it's,
That's not gonna go away unless you're
but
connected.
yeah. And but at this point, it's like I'm okay with it, and I know, eh, even in knowing that the severe pain comes
Mm,
afterwards and the inability to get up and do my typical things, but it's okay. And I allow myself to feel it's okay.
mm,
It's not
yeah,
going
Because you
to,
got, yeah, because you have to kind of listen to your body, go at your own pace. Like with the FND, that's what
yeah.
I find out is I
I
have
just
to
call it ride with the
go at
waves.
my
That's what I
own
call it.
pace. And it's like the people at the group home don't get that. And like I have to schedule doctor's appointments in the morning because usually by 2 o'clock I have no energy.
oh
But
yeah,
Yeah.
end of
and
day,
some
Yeah.
but like
End of the day,
some
I'm done.
days I force myself to do stuff.
like get
Like
on
one
here.
like
I have to.
every day I try, as long as the weather is nice, to go for a little bit of a walk because the physical therapist says that that's good, the walking, because it's helping with strengthening the muscles.
It's not
But
just
like
walking.
then I find though, I know when I've done too much because my knee is extremely swollen. It feels like a sandbag and it's very painful.
That's when you sit in nature
Yeah,
Mhm.
You
'cause-
sit for a
and
moment
then
in nature, put your leg up, give it the rest, but stay in the nature of the great outdoors and
Mhm.
become one with the power of the presence of now.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
Oh
usually
my
when I
goodness, would you
do,
feel
yeah, because usually what I do is if I go for a walk, I stay like within where I know I can like walk there and back to the group home. So, and then just after that, I just put my strap on, ice pack on my knee.
do you have a place to sit outside and just sit and listen
There,
to birds, listen to whatever nature sounds there are?
there's a semi wraparound, like porch that's on the front of the house that overlooks the road street and the Billerica High School, but I only go out there when there's no smokers out there because I found out from the pulmonary doctor that I have a
Asthma?
little bit of asthma due to secondhand smoke from the smoking area where like my room is. It's not near the smoking area, but it's right out front, right above where the front door is. And people smoke out there at night, smoke weed out there. And because with how hot my room gets, I
You smell
have
it
to
more.
leave my windows open. I
Oh, then you
sleep,
smell it more. Yeah,
yeah.
you get more
But
exposure.
also, too, though, the thing is, the smell of weed goes through the air vents because there's one person who has a bong in their room.
It really bothers you, doesn't it?
Yep. I know it bothers a lot of people. Like they've gotten complaints from other people, and like the ones that are smoking weed meet up at the church I go to and sit on the swing and
Is
vape.
it medicinal, do you know?
What?
That when they are smoking on the marijuana, is your state have legal
It's
medicinal marijuana?
legal, but it's not like allowed on the property for
Oh,
the group home I'm on.
you're a rule follower, aren't you?
Yeah, like, and I get in trouble for following the rules, like, and it annoys me. Like, um,
It bothers you that they're smoking on the site and it's not allowed there.
yeah, and especially where me and other residents have written out complaints because of for the house staff because there's a designated smoking area and
And they're not using
that's
that.
where you smoke, but it doesn't get done there and
Well, they're
people
not coming through. But
like usually will sit at their window and smoke
you're
marijuana.
not you're not against someone actually smoking it, but just not smoking it in the right places that they're supposed to.
Well, that, but like also for me, I'm fine. I'm just with between cigarette smoke and marijuana smell, I'm a lot more sensitive to
Well,
it.
right. But so you're just asking, you're gonna do this, do it in your designated spot so that
Yeah,
it's not bothersome to
yeah,
anybody
because
else.
it gets brought up anyway from at the house meeting
It does,
every
but
week.
nobody follows. There's no follow
Pe-
through.
People don't follow the rules here. Like one of the rules is no food in your room, but for me, I sneak it up because for me, I'm not supposed to be with my leg going up and
Up,
down the
down, up.
stairs
Yeah.
whole bunch where people bring it in but leave the dishes in their room, and then there's like no dishes for anybody else.
Yeah, I see what you're
One
saying.
time they had to go clean one of the residents' rooms, and they found 2 gallons of moldy orange juice sitting out. And like
Paula,
there's so many
you look
residents.
tired, sweetheart.
Well, I'm trying to hear what this
Oh,
ridiculous guy is
being an
saying, because
you're
there's
eavesdropping, huh?
well, it's because he's at the other end of the hall where the guy that smokes the weed and that has the bong is, and he's constantly screaming at people. He's been like,
Do you have a lock on your door?
yeah, and
Okay.
he's already
You
like,
use it.
yeah,
Okay.
and he's already been had to be taken to the hospital 3 to 4 times already, and he screams and yells for no reason, bothers people, and it's like, oh
But
Jesus.
that's your view, honey. You
Because
know, that's
like,
your view.
because like I can literally, if I'm trying to
You could
sleep,
have some other issues, like it could be autism or something that's going on.
yeah, because
Or he could
he's
have
in his
some form of schizophrenia or something.
Yeah.
So your view of your perception of him may be thinking he's
well,
screaming for no reason.
I already know
But
him because I used to go to the same day program as him and the 2 women downstairs. When, like, I don't know how many years ago, but I already know that I'm not going back there. And this is the same guy that threatened to rape me when I least expected it.
does he seem to have different multiple personalities? Nice 1 minute, scary or threatening a different time. Is he
It,
seemed,
well,
you know,
he's
can get heightened
most,
with his aggression, but he could also still be nice at times.
well, most of the time he's not that nice. He's always
But he
like,
can be, right?
not that I've seen. Like, he's
No.
been very
He does not
racist.
sound like he's he does
He
not sound like he's medicated or
he's
treated
he's sexually
properly.
aggressive because he's made inappropriate sexual con like things to
Comments to you
the other women,
and others.
and
He
but
actually, I mean, he sounds like what he does need is more help and deep love and compassion from others. But at the same time, what we talked about earlier is your boundaries for your safety.
well, I don't even go near him after he's threatened to rape me before.
So you have your boundaries set. Exactly.
That
But
the 2 women, I
in the
just
midst of it,
ignore them.
the sad part is that he's missing something himself. And somewhere he needs to get some sort of compassion from somebody and somehow. And it doesn't have to be you. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm trying to make you aware that we all have
Well,
our issues of some sort.
a lot of it with him that I know is it just has to do with his mental health problems.
And he's obviously not getting it treated appropriately if he continues to have outbursts and his behavior continues in the manner it is. So take that to the back of your mind. When he does outburst and it seems intimidating, just don't let that, try not to let that bother you. Keep your distance. Don't let it affect your own mental thinking, and just keep telling yourself, poor guy is not getting the help he needs. He would not be behaving this way if he was. And just keep your distance. That way you won't allow his words or things that he threatens to you to affect you mentally, or build a sense of fear, or build some intimidations, and you won't dwell on it. You'll be focusing on yourself, and then at the same time you're giving him still compassion, even though you're not, let's say, doing it right in front of his face. You can still give compassion secretly. So you're thinking, gosh, this is not normal behavior. And obviously his behavior stemmed from such severe mental health issues. And it's so sad and unfortunate. He's not getting the help that he needs to appropriately keep his behaviors under control or appropriate around others. And it may seem intimidating and fearful to be in that situation, which I would feel that way, personally myself. So I would stay, but still have that compassionate part of me to try to shift my mind. Well, it kind of makes it easier to be there, even though you don't like it there. It makes it easier in the moment until you get to really where you need to be. Is that making sense?
Yeah, and that's pretty much why I just ignore him, because for me, with like all the like sexual threats that he's been making, for me, it actually is severely triggering for me of
I'm
my
sure that it is.
PTSD, because I've already been raped 3 times in my life.
Exactly. And
And
it is
two of
triggering.
them
And
are
that
and
brings
two of
back
them
those
were my
old,
biological family. And one was
and
a
it
level
does, it
3
triggers
sex
old
offender.
past. Of course. You know what, Paulo, you and I need to, I need to spend some time with just you and I alone. So I can, and I know it's been a challenge because I've been attempting to try to do that, but with my constant flare-ups. And then now I'm hearing you got to get you're starting to get a quite busy schedule on you. But we should set a time once a week for you and I alone to be able to talk and share some of these, and I can help be a guide or mentor for you as you're in this moment, as you're in this position where you're located now, and it's not appeasing and it's not appropriate for you. But if I can give you that support or just an ear once a week, um, you fly back to where could that be? So it's, you know what I'm saying? It's as a stepping stone, and it'll help pass the time a little easier as you're there in that home that you do not need to be at, not that type of place, and you don't want to be there. So if you would like, you and I can set aside a time that works, that you and I can just do a Zoom together, or I can video call you on the Facebook, or to your number or something. I think it would help. You think?
Oh,
You think? Or were you able to hear me, or you look so tired, honey?
yeah, like it was that.
How about, you know what? Here's what I recommend. I recommend you getting off here, go lay down, Get your jammies on if you don't already have them on. Get your jammies down. Ignore, put on little earphones to listen to some nice soft music or listen to nature sounds. Go to sleep, and you and I will text you tomorrow to talk about maybe setting up special hour for you and I for the week. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Because I see that you're tired. And this is the late night one, and I do the late night ones, hoping that I allows time for others in other parts of the world to be able to jump on too. But I don't want to pressure you in any more circumstances. I see that you're exhausted. I want you to recognize your own signs. I see them in your face. I don't know if others see that you are starting to look way more tired than you were when you first jumped on.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
probably
I
just
think you
too, 'cause
also
my meds are probably kicking in because those I had at
probably,
7:30.
and I think you do need a little one-on-one time, plus eventually, do group time too. But that way you get your rest, the others can share something they have, and then you and I can spend some one-on-one time once a week together. And I'll try to help encourage or pass the time or whatever it is you want to talk about. Whatever you want to talk about then. But I think you need to go to sleep. And I'm giving you and sending you my prayers for well wishes and sweet dreams. And look for a text from me tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. And sending you lots of hugs and love.
Okay.
Okay.
And tell your
Remember, this
daughter
is like surrogate.
there's no need to be embarrassed for what
I will
happened.
tell her, sweetheart. I will sure tell her. Yes. Now you have a very sweet sleep, and put on the headphones or something if you have them, so you can ignore all the other sounds coming out in the hallway from the others, and just listen to some relaxing nature sounds or the nice music you listen to or whatever, and relax and know that you're in my prayers and my thoughts. And I thank you for you putting me in your prayers and thoughts, and I feel very honored and thank you for that, honey. And you are in mine as well.
Yep.
Now, I'm concerned about you, and as your surrogate mother, I say you need to go to sleep, sweet pea. She's so sweet, poor thing. Oh, so many things I wish I could do to help people.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it just need to be heard.
Yeah.
She does.
But
So maybe even if it's just she definitely needs a group, and she definitely needs one-on-one time.
I do think that's the best thing. I think she needs a one-to-one.
Yeah. I agree.
So, and maybe she's never. I'm getting the feeling in the sense that she really never had a good role model mother. And
Yeah,
why? I'm a good role model mother figure, but if she feels and senses that, I'll try to give her and provide to her what she was lacking, in the
yeah,
past,
Yeah.
and provide some sort of whatever. Oh gosh, God, please guide me through this one because I can't. My heart breaks. It's just a sad situation for everybody. It just
yeah.
mm.
Yeah, that was kind of hard to hear that. But she has mentioned it quite a
So
lot of
ladies,
times.
how are you all?
Yeah, and no one's really helping her. There's no stability there.
No. It's in the
No, it's
wrong
not.
place.
No.
But she did look tired. She needs to go to sleep. But how are you guys?
Hi. I'm okay. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. Just chilling today. Yeah, yesterday I just like went to see my niece. Both my nieces graveyard went there too, and I was in nature for a couple hours, and which was lovely, and to be with them and just to clean up their gravesite. So it's nice just being there. You could hear the nature, you could hear everything. It was just lovely, just being
Yeah.
there. So yeah, I had a good time. It was sad but good at the same time.
That was
But,
I sent that to B, but it's not supposed to be direct message. You guys can read that message right now. I didn't want to say it on here.
mm-hmm.
So if you get my drift, I sure hope I did what I was supposed to the right way.
We're supposed to be getting a huge heat wave this week.
I agree.
Warning, it's going to be
What?
a dangerous heat
Yeah,
wave.
I think we had like it's supposed to be almost like 101 on a couple
Yeah.
of days.
Yeah.
Did you guys
Like,
get a notice from the
Ohio's
National Weather
wait,
Service?
Ohio identifies as Florida this week.
Did any of you in the US or even Canada get a notice
did.
from the National Weather Service about a heat all the way
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
August?
we did.
Yeah, we do. We're
Yeah.
good. We're under
I
a
did
heat
too, and
advisory this week.
I asked my
We're under
dad,
an extreme heat advisory this week.
Yeah.
why does it pick and
Yeah,
choose who to send to? Because my dad did not get one.
Oh, is that
I
right?
don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why yet.
that to me was weird, but I was like, and it said until August for us. August. That's a long time.
While you guys got the heat wave, we get all the rain.
Well, this,
God,
you
we
know,
need
this,
the rain too.
It's gonna
There's
feel
been a drought.
yeah, it
it's
was.
going- here it's supposed to feel like 110 degrees.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how hot it's gonna be. I converted the temperature because we have like 43 degrees Celsius.
Yeah,
right?
Celsius. Thank you for the conversion because I would not know that either. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, I know it's really hot, but I can't do the conversion because we've lived with it for a long time, right? So
Right.
so we talk in centimeters and
But
yards.
that's honestly, that's the metric system. It's actually the correct way. Everybody should be on it. It breaks it
Everybody
down.
should
Yeah,
be
but
on it, actually.
everybody but the US.
Yeah, we're just
Not
weird.
smart.
We're just weird over
We're
here.
backwards. We're
Yeah.
backwards.
When
Yeah.
it comes to that, yes, I think so.
Well, if you think about it, it would help children learn because this metric system is
It's much better.
in groups of
We are
hundreds,
backwards
Yeah.
in America.
and it in the groups of hundreds is the place value chart, and it would make more
Plus,
sense
like,
for kids.
even things like the Olympics, right? It's all
Meters.
meters,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So
right.
it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know why we are so weird like that, but hey, I have to just kind of go with the flow since I'm here.
Yep.
But Jessica has she says she's been having stuttering. I sending you hugs and prayers too. You.
Yes, yeah. Over there, sugar, yeah.
She's overdoing it, poor thing.
Mm.
Yeah, the heat wave is messing everybody up, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'm going to be hibernating in the house.
Yeah, you have AC, I hope.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, we couldn't survive here without it.
right.
Everything has AC here.
We get it in one room.
My stepdad that passed away was born and raised in Florida, and he told me, he goes, you should have lived in the days when I was a kid when AC wasn't around. I'm like, oh, no way.
Yeah.
I could never.
Yeah, because when I was growing up, we didn't have AC.
Ugh,
And I had
I would never.
seen that
I could
out
not
story.
imagine it. In Florida with the humidity that we get,
Yeah, we get it
I would
really
be
bad.
like
Humidity
in
here
bed.
is
I just
really
don't know
bad.
how I could survive sleeping with all that sticky. Ugh.
Yeah, I
feeling.
couldn't, because the humidity here is really high.
Yeah, if it's like Indiana, it gets really bad there too. And I remember that when I lived there. We have bad mosquitoes already starting.
Oh yeah, we've had mosquitoes for a while now.
Don't go outside at a certain time or you will be carried away.
Yeah. Yeah,
But they'll ours will last all the way till probably December. We only get a few months of no mosquitoes if we're
yeah,
lucky.
ours will probably die of late fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's the closest to me? Brandy. I think the Brandy in vicinity, you're the closest to me. So if this heat wave projected and warms up so much, we're gonna have lots of hurricanes. So scoot over, sister. I'll be coming up. Hang on.
Well, Jess isn't too far from me. We're Ohio, Michigan, so
Okay.
if we're gonna go any further north, Diane, we're coming.
Yeah,
We're actually
that's
south
where
of
we
you
go.
guys.
If I don't, if I
Yeah,
can't
Where
I
take
I
got a
live?
big yard. We can start a tiny community out here.
Yeah, we're actually way south of a lot of American states. If you
Yeah.
look at where we are and where
Yeah.
the beacon goes.
That's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people don't think about that, especially the Americans. You think, oh, Canada, it's freezing up there, but it's not.
No.
We're in the southernmost part of the country.
Now you're making me want to go look at the map again.
Yeah. Actually, my son has just left for Minneapolis because he's
Okay.
on business. His flight was supposed to leave at 7:30, didn't leave
Mhm.
till 10 o'clock.
Wow.
So we had to sit around because he was here. The whole family was here. We had sushi for lunch for Father's Day, and he stayed and left from here to go to the airport. But he kept looking at his flight and they're going, oh yeah, it's okay. We're going to be on time. And then he gets there and it's put off by a couple hours. So instead of 7:30, it was 10 o'clock.
Ugh. So it's a search
He
the
was
airport?
messaging me saying, I just got on the plane.
Oh gosh. Yuck.
Yeah. You know what? Both of our sons have to go to the States quite often, and they always have trouble with American Airlines. Always.
Big surprise.
It's just like like the last time he was supposed to fly into, oh, I'm going to say Santa Fe, but it wasn't Santa Fe. It was, oh, I can't remember. Anyways, somewhere in Southern California. And they ended up rerouting him to San Francisco, and he had to drive 3 hours from San Francisco to where he was supposed to go. And then my son was coming home from, they go all over the place. Not too far from here in the States, but he ended up getting rerouted to Montreal and having to spend the night in Montreal in the airport to catch another connecting flight to come here. They get
good grief.
around so much. It's unbelievable. I said, holy jumping, I'm glad I'm not traveling.
No kidding. I did before when I traveled before, and when I moved to Florida, my older kids, they had to fly back and forth to their dad's certain holidays to visit. And I found a particular less expensive airline, American only. They only travel within the United States. But if you wanted to talk to customer service, they outsourced customer service to a different foreign area, and you
Oh,
can't
really?
understand a word they're saying because their dialect and their what's the other word? Accent
Yeah, accent.
was so thick that you couldn't. I'm like, I finally say, could you
Oh,
please
you
send
can
me to some
understand it?
Can you send me back to America where on the phone. Can you send me back to America, please, so I can speak to someone I understand? This is American, this flight is only in America. So why is it I'm always talking to someone that
With
sounds
the accent.
so far away in thick accent that I don't, to me,
You
it's like,
can't comprehend.
no, no. And I was
So
thinking, if I don't
you
make it
come
to you guys' house for hurricane, maybe I could ride the hurricane over to B.
that
Somehow,
will never happen.
somehow, no, it never happened. No, it
Yeah,
never
we're hearing
happened.
bad
Don't
things
never
about
say never, my
hurricanes.
dear.
Supposed to get a bad season this year, eh?
Well, there was the one year that my sister was working at Martha's Vineyard, as a like a waitress, more or less, or host or something, making a little extra bucks. And she had married a guy from Ireland, and she was going to. They were saving to go to Ireland,
Mm.
and she had gone over there, and we had this hurricane that year while she was in Ireland, and lo and behold, that hurricane literally went up and almost brushed the coast of Ireland. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's so crazy. It's like a very weird,
yeah.
and I can't remember which hurricane. I can't
It's
remember,
because
was it
it's
Charlie? I can't remember which one it was, but let me tell you, it was like, whoa, that's so weird. Here we are in Florida, and this stinking hurricane still surviving all the way up
All the way
to
there, yeah.
coast of
yeah.
Ireland.
I've got in families over in the Caribbean, so there's always hurricane season
Oh,
every time.
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
you know that one
Yeah.
year when they had, I want to say it was Irma and then Maria and whatever. I felt so horrible for some of those. I went on a cruise one time to St. Martin, St. Thomas, the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And St. Martin and St. Thomas were one of my favorite places. And when I found out like Maria had come through and Irma, they were still just trying to recover a little from like the outskirts of Irma. They ended up having to send people in to evacuate every living being left on the island. It was so
Wow.
decimated at that time. They showed helicopters picking up cattle, what was left of
Oh,
cattle, taking them
no.
to
Pretty good,
a
actually.
safety place so that they can start to rebuild again the island.
Wow.
Mm.
So sad. It just like plummeted and decimated. Because I think it was the other, we had like 2 category 5 hurricanes in the coming off of Africa over in our direction. And man, it was a crazy busy year and scary. Just I felt
I can
so bad for the
imagine.
islanders. Ugh.
I just find it weird how they name all these different
Yeah.
names of everything, and
You're
I go,
not kidding.
so what alphabet is it now? It's like
Oh,
I've noticed
right?
the alphabets.
They run out of English names, then they switched. There was some Greek names, then there was some Spanish names, and then how many I names can you come up with? We had I and they retire them if they caused any death or
Mm,
significant amount of damage. Mostly if it's anyone, if any one person has died in a hurricane, that name is retired forever. They can
mm,
recycle other names, but
mm,
we've had an Ike that caused a lot of problem in Texas. Irma and Ian, both here.
mm, mm.
There was one. Wonder what else there
Oh,
is. Like how
New
many
Orleans. Which one? Is it New Orleans?
New Orleans was what? Which one was that?
Yeah, hurricane.
New
That
Orleans
sound.
had, yeah, but I can't remember the name of it. Hold on, let me
Yeah.
think of that one. I'm gonna Google it. I have to Google
Mm.
it. Diane's on her phone. She probably get it
Yeah, I was
faster
talking to my
than.
son.
Which was the one that hit New Orleans that was so that took the
Oh,
levees
I was just,
down? I can't remember the name. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Katrina.
Yes,
Katrina,
thank
that's
you.
it.
Yes.
Katrina.
Yeah.
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 I read a book about that. It was about the hospital there in New
Mm,
Orleans.
Mm.
And Yeah, it was totally devastating. And I'm reading a book now by um Eric Larson. Eric Larson? Yeah. And he writes nonfiction. I've read all his books. This one is
Oh,
the
I've listened.
pre-Civil
Yeah, they're
War.
good.
Pre-Civil War?
Pre-Civil War. All the turmoil that led up to the Civil War there. It's actually kind of interesting.
He's
For
an
the-
amazing historical author.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's an awesome writer.
Who is it again? Text it to me
Eric Larson.
on this. Eric Larson. Because I love history.
Yeah,
And
his
we've been
is
fascinated.
backed up. Like the first book I ever read, The Devil in the White City, um, probably, I don't know, 40 pages, 50 pages worth of just bibliography stuff and references, because he does a lot.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's let's see.
I hope it's the truth.
Larson, L-A-R. I think it's got two S's.
I hope he shares the truth of stuff. There's so much
I think he
hidden
gets
truth
into
in stuff that's
detail
not-
of
He
the
does.
actual weather at the time as well. Like he goes
Yes, he
so in
does.
depth. He checks
Absolutely.
out
Wow.
the weather on
Yeah.
when these things were happening during the
Yeah.
year.
He does. He's really good.
Let me write this down. Because I love reading
Interesting.
now. Now that I'm reading to you guys, I've getting fun development of reading again.
It's
The other-
Larson.
E-R-I-C?
It's ERIK
E-R-I-K.
LARSON. You want some of the names? I'm reading right now The Demon of Unrest. That's his newest one.
Yeah.
The White City, The Splendid and the Vile. I've read all of these. Isaac Storm, Thunderstruck.
Do you rent them or do you buy them?
I buy them. In the Garden of the Beasts. Actually, I wouldn't mind rereading some of them.
Can you read them like on your what is it? A tablet or something?
Yeah, probably. I would think so.
They're also on Audible.
Are they?
Hmm. I've listened to Devil in the White City on Audible. I think I made a whole quilt during that book.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
for,
lot of reading.
I
There are a
prefer
lot
that.
of really good books.
for
Listen
me,
to it.
for me and all my adventurous travels from home to home, keep continuing to actually buy books is going to be a challenge. So maybe by getting it so that I can hear it
You can get
and I have it
Kindle
with me on
editions,
my device.
At
Do
least
you have the
Amazon.
library? Do you have a library card?
I still don't have a home. So my
Oh.
driver's license is in Lee County and I'm now in Glades County. So I would not be able to go to this library where I'm new because I'm not changing my permanent address because I don't have a stable place that I know that I'm going to be staying.
That's a
I don't
drag.
think the library will mind. I think if you go there and explain that, they would just say,
They can
I
give you
think
a
the library
temporary.
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I'm saying a temporary address and then maybe go with the person if you have any mail coming to the house in your name as opposed to it being on your ID.
Like
Because you can get the
stepmom.
Libby app on your phone from your library and listen to lots of audiobooks on that for free. And if you have Libby app, it's also really cool because if you've got a tablet, you can look at magazines. My library has tons of craft magazines, Life magazine, like I crocheting patterns, all stuff like that.
Wow. Well, that
And all free.
Well, maybe
Well.
next time. See, Lee County is way more populated than Glades County. It's very, very rural here, and probably one of the poorest counties in the state. So their library, I used to have a card here, but it expired, and I did when I left my dad the first time, where I'm staying now at my dad's, I got to back to Lee County address because my goals was to be a resident there where I used to live and then get a Habitat for Humanity house. So I'm not changing my address from the Lee County yet. So I'm using my daughter's address. They have a bigger library system that if next time there, I can have someone take me library there. I can get my card activated there again and be able to get what you're saying, that app to borrow theirs online. because they have a
Mm.
huge system there.
That would be good.
That would, yeah, that would.
That would
But
work.
and I need to learn to pace myself because I've been reading I have the Bible app and I've been reading it on my phone, but I also put it on audio so that it reads to me because sometimes my eyes get very
Yeah.
tired from the screen.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to read sometimes.
yeah.
Mm.
I have to use a bookmark
But
to mark the sentences because otherwise I jump all over the page.
that's what well, you know, when I'm reading this book to you guys, I'm finding I have to use my
Yeah.
pretty little
That's
my
what
daughter,
I do.
my daughter made this for me. So I'm doing what I taught all my students to do that are dyslexic. So they no longer jump
Yeah.
and I'm doing this as I read.
Yep.
As long
That's
as
what I do.
as long as it's not windy outside or the dogs are bouncing all over me, which makes me lose my pages sometimes when I'm reading to you guys. I'm like, but yeah, it was a blessing that I was a special ed teacher because all the strategies that I taught my students, I'm finding myself having
You
to
use them
use
yourself.
myself.
That's good.
Mm.
So yeah,
That
I'm
makes
glad I have
lots of
that you know, in my pocket, a list of bunch of strategies to help me with things that now are difficult. But
I think I'm going to go to bed. I'm
But-
losing it.
yeah, it's late, much later for you. What time is it your time?
11.
Oh wait, that was you, Jessica. I thought it was B.
Yeah.
It's already 4 o'clock here.
Ah, my God, in your mind.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
You got to get dinner thought about if you're hungry.
No, 4 o'clock a.m.
AM.
Oh, what?
AM.
Yes, she's
What?
still
Why are we
waking.
up at 4 a.m.?
Yeah.
The poor child, the poor child has a hard time sleeping, so she jumps in and listens.
You listen to
Yeah.
her nonsense.
We can all start singing you a lullaby, B.
You don't want to hear my voice. I can't sing to save my life.
I can, if I sing, I
Oh,
can
I
get
love
smooth
listening to
speech, but for some
I sing
reason,
anyway, but
talking, I don't.
Sometimes that happens to me too, Jessica, even though my singing is not beautiful either. But
Right,
I
but
can
I could-
sometimes make out the words better if I'm singing it.
if you're singing, yes.
My speech therapist said that's the case.
Yeah. When I'm stuttering, I don't stutter when I'm singing.
Yeah. Yep.
Mine's the
comes-
same way, just like
comes
the
from
same.
different part of the brain, and then she taught me to kind of sing my phone number and stuff because I really, really, really stutter on numbers when I'm repeating them to people.
Yeah.
So I have
Yeah.
to. I made a song for my phone number for doctors' offices to confirm.
My speech
Yeah,
therapist did.
You know what? I never realized that. I do like a little rhythm kind of thing when I say.
But it's true.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my speech therapist did not teach me that one, but she taught me the intonation in when you're reading. If you lower or soften your voice, it will come out more clear. And I tend to have to raise the sound of my voice because I'm sometimes surrounded by people that are hard of hearing. And then they're like, why are you yelling? I'm like, well, if I don't yell, you can't understand my speech.
Yeah.
If I talk too soft, then you can't hear me.
Yeah.
Talk really loud. So sorry. And then those times my daughter, I learned the singing part of it myself. My speech therapist didn't teach me this, but I was always a lover of silly, crazy songs and make up silly songs or change songs that already out there just to be silly and goofy with my kindergarten kids and my own children when they were little. So now that I see the speech thing, it helps when you sing. Sometimes I'll sing out, you know, something I want my daughter to do, and she'll look at me like, what the heck is wrong with you, Mom? You kind of lost it, you know?
I get that with my kids.
But it's like, oh, wait, you're so weird, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Yes, I am. And it's okay.
I ask her, there's no problem being weird.
That's right. I quite am. I'm weird, aren't I, honey?
Yes, you are.
See? Yes, you are.
You are very.
Yeah, That's why it makes us special.
Exactly.
right. That's right. And it helps mommies to sometimes be able to embarrass their own children when the children have embarrassed their mommies. So
Yeah, there you go.
it comes back around.
But I don't embarrass you and you embarrass me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it's made up from your brother and sister. I'm sorry, honey. You embarrass me.
Good night, Jess.
So sad.
Good night.
You're always
Bye.
sleepy too. I think I need to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm tired.
Enjoyed your company, and I'm glad that I was able to get back on here again, guys. And
Good to see
Yes.
everybody.
yes,
Yep,
Yeah.
good
be
night.
with you all.
Bye.
Hopefully we see
Good
you
morning
Tuesday.
from here.
Yep.
Good
Bye.
morning. Good morning,
Bye-bye.
me.
Morning, B.
That's right.
Bye.
Have a good evening and morning. I love you
Yeah.
all.